Welcome to the Nick and Matt Show. Bringing the player interviews you want to hear and the hot topics you want to discuss. Streaming live on the Foundation Podcast YouTube channel, here's Nick and Matt.
The executive director of the Paul McBeth Foundation. Let's introduce you to him now. With all joking aside, Dustin Leatherman. How's it going, man?
Hey, what an introduction, Matt. It's great.
Hey, you know, credit where credit's due. It's good to talk to you again, Dustin. We've worked and crossed paths in disc golf for years. We're bringing you on the show now to talk about the Paul McBeth Foundation's recent project in, if I'm saying it correctly, La Paz, Mexico. You want to tell us just a little bit about that, what the project entailed, and feel free to just elaborate what you guys got to, what you did, anything that uniquely stood out. And if you get stuck, we have some questions for you.
All right, that sounds good. Yeah, we traveled down with a team of seven of us actually, including Paul, and we traveled to La Paz, and we were working with a ranch that has a bunch of youth programs and works with youth in the surrounding area. It's called Rancho El Camino, and we put in a 9-hole disc golf course for them. It was really cool property, very desert-like. You can check out our Instagram page or our Facebook page to kind of just see some of the terrain. But yeah, we spent all week. We all flew in on Monday. We got there Tuesday. Paul took the lead on designing the course, set up this really super fun beginner course with the opportunity to expand it into like a more intermediate or advanced course in the future. And 9 holes. The team was awesome, and the staff there was great. So they actually, one of the cool things about the project is they hired a number of youth from La Paz which is part of what they do. They try to give jobs and opportunities to young people that might not have them otherwise. So they actually were able to create jobs for this week that a bunch of youth were out there working alongside us. It was kind of cool. You know, the beginning of the week, nobody knew who Paul was down there. And then, you know, as he continues to get introduced as the 5-time world champion, you know, people are, you know, wanting to get his autograph and, you know, but it was cool because he just got to work right alongside them. And yeah, so we spent our time putting in this course and then teaching clinics to their staff, teaching clinics to the youth. And then another cool component, as the word got out that we were putting in this course, people from La Paz, most of the people from Canada and Mexico and the U.S. that are living there now, started sending us messages like, hey, can I come out and help? Can I come out and play the course? So we, you know, not only were we teaching the youth and interacting with kind of the people that they normally work with, but other people from the surrounding area were already starting to come out and say, man, I've been living here and it's awesome, but I've been missing disc golf, and now there's a disc golf course. So it was really cool on a lot of different levels, and the product went super smooth. We have a number of, like, we're working with most of the manufacturers to put in these courses, and then other companies in disc golf. One of our goals is to just work with as many people as possible. So in this case, we worked with Dynamic Discs. So a lot of people were asking questions like, why is it Dynamic and, you know, not Paul's other sponsor, Discraft? And, you know, we want to work with everybody. So this project specifically was with Dynamic Discs, and they were awesome. They sent baskets in advance. They sent 9 veterans and then 2 portables. And we sent about 100 discs, and we brought about 100 extras. And we were a little worried. They were stuck in Tijuana for a while, and we just kept, you know, we're watching the tracking, and they're stuck there for like 3 or 4 weeks. But they made it about a week and a half before we got there. Put the course in. It was great, and then the excitement and enthusiasm from kids to the kids' parents to, you know, even older people in the community was just super cool to see. They were loving it. They loved interacting with Paul. Paul was fantastic, just, you know, as he normally is in terms of just being a normal guy and interacting with everybody from the ranch. And it was just a great week. And the cool thing for everybody at home is Jomez is one of our big partners as an organization, and they sent 2 guys to just film the whole thing. So they filmed Paul playing the course. They filmed they film just the whole experience. So they're going to do kind of like a documentary style video. So there should be some really cool, documentation of the trip coming out as well.
Awesome. That is a lot going on, and I'm sure that's actually a pretty significant project for Jomez, which everyone should be on the lookout for. That's pretty cool. So one of the things that you just said that I thought was kind of interesting, and it actually struck me in like a wow kind of way, but it makes sense. The locals, the children, whoever around there didn't know who Paul McBeth was, and we're installing a disc golf course. So did they know what disc golf was?
No, it was cool. The camp director had a concept of it. So we had been talking since probably like February about this project, and he knew about it. And they're the kind of like organization that they have, like people that come and serve, like maybe, young people that do a gap year or do an internship and they come and serve. So occasionally they've had disc golfers, come and participate and, do something with it. But, the camp director said most of the people that we were teaching that week, it was the first time they ever threw a disc or a frisbee, which was really awesome.
Yeah, that's great. So you talked about this a little bit, but what was the vibe on the ground amongst the team who went? So I think you said there was a team of like, what did you say, 7? I forget. And who was that Who was that comprised of? So you, Paul, did you include Jomez? Like, what was that project team like? And what was the experience like working together?
Yeah, it actually came together amazingly well. Initially, it was just, the plan to have a small team, me, Paul, and then Doug Bjerkes and his wife came from Dynamic. So fresh off, all that he did with the DDO, Doug wanted to come down and, make sure this first project went well. Doug's the co-chairman of our board of directors. And as you know, just a great guy, does a lot of good stuff for the sport. So he wanted to be there. So he actually came down with his wife for part of it. They kind of combined vacation and helping us out. And then a couple weeks before the trip, Paul's like, "Oh, I had an idea. Let's bring Joey Tamale on the trip." So Joey came down, which was fantastic because he speaks fluent Spanish. They had translators ready, but it was cool to just have Joey and Paul kind of leading clinics together and Joey just translating. And then another, touring pro disc golfer that's out there playing regularly and has some great abilities to kind of teach. So, and then, Jomez sent 2 guys. So for me, I actually, first time I met Joey, first time I met Raul from, that was representing Jomez. First time I'd worked with Ryan, and it was just great. The team got along well, and it just seemed like all the pieces came together really well. And it just was, the ranch was the perfect partner. They were really laid back, but really like enthusiastic. So they were flexible with whatever we needed to do. But they were just really enthusiastic about the project. And it was just, everything just came together and worked out really well.
Well, I'm hopeful that, one day we'll look back at this and, see maybe a US champ or a world's champ. And they'll say, yeah, I got my very first introduction to disc golf when this guy who they used to say was the GOAT, came and built a course, right, at my local camp. So I think it's really, really exciting. And I know there's all different ways to support the foundation, Dustin. I'm sure a lot of that can be found on the website, various donation services. But are there more trips planned like this in the future? Like if people are clamoring to go hang out with Paul himself, do you expect him to be literally the course planter on every single trip that's out there, Paul himself laying, foundations for all these discs? Or what's the future of this kind of course planting look like for the foundation?
Yeah, great question. So we are actually having our board meeting tomorrow, and our board of directors is very actively involved in project decision making. So we've had, I would say, well over 100 project requests. So I do, sort through them, figure out what best fits our mission, and a lot of them do. But so it's really, really difficult to select these projects. But we plan to do at minimum 3 in 2021. We may do 4 or 5, depending on how things come together. And unfortunately, we're not going to be able to take Paul every time. You guys both know Paul, and I know he wants to be there. He wants to be hands-on. He wants to do the work. like when we were there, he wasn't just like, hey, do this and do that. He was like using a pickaxe, and I'm like, whoa, maybe take it easy. We got a tournament next week, but he was, he's doing the work. So I think what our plan will be, some of our projects are like this one with La Paz, where we're working with an organization that like knows they want disc golf, doesn't know a lot about it. Some of the other projects we're talking to and deciding between are places that have no disc golf courses in their country, but they have like these really dedicated individuals that love disc golf and take out portable baskets and do clinics and teaching and set up like temp courses. So those projects, we won't need to be as hands-on, and it'll be more about funding. It'll be more about, just getting them the resources that they need. And our hope is that any course we put in, Paul will visit at some point. But it might be like, courses go in, and then Paul does like a little world tour where he's stopping in and checking out and doing some clinic, some teaching. So yeah, we'll kind of approach it in different ways as we go. But again, Paul wants to be involved, and is not just a foundation with his name on it, but he is very actively involved in all aspects of it, which is really cool. So yeah, and then in terms of getting involved, as we grow, we'll have more opportunities to get involved. Like we took a small team that came together, but certainly we have these manufacturers that are donating, which is awesome. But we've had a bunch of disc golfers donate. We've sold some merchandise. We sold some discs as fundraisers, and we've been putting up auctions every time we announce a project, and just a number of ways to just support the projects. And we can't say enough about how the community has embraced it, supported it, and basically the more funds that we can raise, the more opportunities we'll have to put in courses. And I think on your show, Paul announced that he's donating all his winnings from this year, which sounds like a lot, but as you do these things, the money piles up. So we'll need to continue to fundraise, and we want to do as much as we can and just provide disc golf to as many kind of underserved places that have no access to it as possible.
So how does a conversation like that go as the executive director of Paul McBeth Foundation? Hey, Paul, you need to play better. We need more money.
I haven't said that, but I'm glad I'll let you have that conversation, Matt.
Hot take, everybody. Paul needs to play better so more courses can go in. No, Paul's playing fine. He did start out. We thought, what's happening? But he looks like he's making good money. I think it's got to be $7,000 by now or something. So let's keep hoping he's going there, or hope he keeps going there. So can I ask before we let you go? I know you're a busy man. You've got other relationships and things to deal with besides Nick and Matt, or Josh and Matt tonight. Can you just tell us? This is a question I was really curious. You're down in Mexico. Did you have some authentic Mexican food, and how good was it?
Oh man, we had so much authentic Mexican food. It was amazing. So one of the cool things is we didn't actually stay on the ranch. We stayed in La Paz, so we just kind of commuted back and forth. It was about a 20-minute drive every day. And they had recommendations. We ate in town. The ranch has like, they hire local individuals to do most of the work at the ranch, so they provide jobs in that way. So had authentic meals every day at the ranch, and it was fantastic. I would highly recommend, if you're looking for a vacation spot, go into La Paz, because it's really cool and great food, and then you can play a little disc golf on a course that Paul designed.
I was going to ask, so it's obviously on a camp or related to the camp. Is it open to public play completely? Request? If somebody is down there and actually wants to take you up on that offer, how do they do it?
Yes, great question. It actually, Paul and Joey put it on UDisc, which was really cool. Paul posted some on his story. I think that is like the only course you can see in that whole like peninsula area. And so there's instructions on UDisc on how to play, and we'll add it to Disc Golf Course Review and the other places. But a lot of people were wondering, like, is it closed as a private property? It's not. It is open to the public, and the ranch is awesome, and they want to, work with as many people as possible. But at the same time, it is a place that has like kids programming, so that makes it a little bit tricky. But basically, how they've set it up is that they just want you to contact them before you come. So kind of reservation based. They have somebody's cell phone on staff listed on UDisc. You just shoot them a note that, hey, you're looking to come at this time. And like I said, we've already had people from the community it was funny. We had 1 or 2 people early on, and then people just started messaging us. People were emailing the camp. People were, calling my cell phone and wanting to come, which is really cool. So the camp is fully open, open to the public. They want as many people to play it as possible. They're going to have events. They're going to do leagues. They're going to do all kinds of things to just make it accessible. And I think it's going to, it's definitely worth it. It's beginner friendly, but enough challenges that when Paul played it, he did not shoot 9 down. So spoiler for the video, but it was, it's a little tricky. Everybody enjoy, and the views are incredible. Like, it's, on these mountains in the desert, there's cactus, there's all kinds of stuff. They warned us there's a bunch of rattlesnakes around. We didn't see any that week, but just a really cool, unique experience for disc golf.
Very cool, Dustin. I thank you so much for taking your time to come on the show and talk to us about this. We're interested in where the next one is. I'm assuming, I don't know if I'm special or not, but there's an invite to me to join at some point. I'd like to do that. Let's just wait until I find out where it is. Maybe Hawaii, or I don't know, Bermuda,
Yeah.
Cancun, Mexico. No, I'm just kidding. Wherever. We're excited to hear where it is.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, we hope to announce a couple projects soon. I think we have some really awesome ones in the works that people are going to be excited about. And yeah, Matt, you're welcome. Josh, let us know when you're free. We'd love to take you guys along.
Awesome, Dustin.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much. Have a great evening, and we look forward to talking again soon.
All right, guys. Have a good night. Thank you.
All right.
Thanks, Justin.
Adios. Is that what you say in Mexico? Adios.
Yeah, that's one of the things you can say. Yeah.
The Nick and Matt Show, a disc golf podcast designed for you, the disc golfer. Find the Nick and Matt Show on your favorite podcast platforms or stream us live exclusively on the Foundation Podcast's YouTube channel.